Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is currently May 10th, 2010, and this is Day 9 Daily number 113 once again. I'm just going to restart this because I crashed the stream. I always have too many programs open when I begin it, so I'm going to try to just do a few live tests after this one to make sure it doesn't crash. So I'm going to do the same bookkeeping that I did last time, so just bear with me for like 5 minutes or something like that, and then we'll just bump right into the game. So, first of all, I'd like to thank all the people who've been sending me all those PMs, but unfortunately, I just haven't had time to answer them in the last 3 weeks. So if I haven't responded to you, I'm really sorry, but I just ran out of time. Something had to give. Kind of wanted to graduate, so, finished my second year of graduate school, but I have one more to go, so that should be good. If I can just get that out of the way, then I can do all Starcraft all the time. So, in other news, I'm wearing my awesome shirt from Martin, from Austria, who sent this to me. It has this nice little V-neck here, so that way I look very European. Helps show off a little bit of my manly chest hair. And I'm also doing a co-cast with Greetorp for the GoSuGamers.net Europe vs. Asia match. There's always been an issue with having the Asia players for StarCraft 2 play against anyone in Europe or America because of all the lag issues, but they've sorted all that out. I'm going to be participating as the commentator with Greetorp, so that's really awesome because I'll get to pick his genius brain about Terran and all that good jank while we're doing the little observant action. So definitely tune into that. It will be at 6 a.m. Pacific. Saturday and Sunday morning. So if you want, you can get up with me and drink coffee and watch the matches live, or you can watch it on demand. And if you're from Europe, the time should be perfect for you. So let's just go ahead and jump into this game. This is a game between me and Moonglade. I am going to just slide this back a little bit so that way we can begin watching it right from the start. This is me as the Protoss. We're playing on Kulas Ravine. I do a less than optimal split. And what's really nice about this game is two things. First of all, this will be a nice opportunity for me to figure out what the hell I did wrong in this game as StarCraft 2 crashes. Isn't that just wonderful? Well, that's the story of my life. The fact that no matter what happens today, it seems like it's not that good. Seems like everything's just going to be going bonkers, so I'm just going to go ahead and restart the StarCraft 2 unless it's stabilized, and by some miracle it has. So we're going to go ahead and continue to cast this game. So at the time we were casting this game, for some reason everyone was crashing. So it kind of took a little bit of time to end up working properly, but no big deal. It eventually popped back up. And we eventually got everyone watching. Fantastic. Hooray! So, anyways, on this game, on Kulas Ravine, we're going to get to see me analyze how it is that I lost. I was pretty irritated that I actually ended up losing this game. I did my standard opening that you guys probably saw me do against Artosis in the HDH Invitational, where I build a pylon out here. I'm going to be two-gating. I was even asking Moonglade if he was in TLI. He was in the HDH Invitational. He's a strong Zerg player. Had to play against Noni first round, which is a little bit unfortunate. But, pretty standard. Now, this build that I'm going to do, it's going to be a two-gate opening. I love two-gating versus Zerg. I think it's the best thing in the universe. And I'm doing a gate on 11. I was trying to figure out the best place to plant it down. I've actually never spawned in this particular position doing this two-gate, so I just sort of winged it. And this really, I think, was horrible placement, and here I am just sort of teasing myself about it. And then I'm going to be doing a gateway on 11 and a gateway on 12. And I'm also even saving up my Chrono Boost, which hopefully you can read at the bottom there. I have not spent a single Chrono Boost. I'm up at 73 energy right now. I want to be very, very aggressive with that Chrono Boost. I think I do spend one here. Just getting some extra probes so I can bounce up to 14 probes pretty quickly and build an additional pylon. So, the purpose of this is twofold. One, to see how I'm going to go about analyzing a loss, and two, how to, and for me, just to figure it out, because I haven't really had a good time to sit down and work through it. Because there's a few different classes of losing, I would say. One is just where you're having an off day and you just play horribly and you're just like, whatever, screw this game, and you end up losing, and, it's always a little irritating, but no big deal. These sorts of things happen. Most normal thing in the world. Then there's these other sort of losses where it's like really frustrating. It's like you weren't expecting it, like suddenly a bunch of Banshees come up and you're just like, oh my god, he has Banshees? I didn't know you could get Banshees right there. And then you end up just kind of being like, well, whatever, I guess I lose this game, and you're sort of frustrated. But then there's this third class of game where you just lose and you have absolutely no idea why it is you lost. That's exactly what happened in this game, where I lost and I was just perplexed about it. So I really wanted to spend some time being able to check this game out and to figure out what exactly was going on here. Because for some reason, this was not working out well for me. Or, excuse me, I should say it was working out well for me, but I just couldn't believe I kept losing battle after battle. So I'm opening up with this 2-gate. Why do I like 2-gating? Well, it puts a lot of pressure on Zerg. Oh, well, I practice it a lot, that's one reason. But it puts a lot of pressure on Zerg on Kulas Ravine. They don't have a nice little tiny choke. They have a big wide open, no ramp, no anything to help them defend. So they pretty much have to hold in their main somehow. So that really forces them to pull back. We even see this drone from Moonglade. It was thinking about expanding, but it ended up pulling back when his drone saw what I was doing. So I end up making a bunch of zealots and everything, and he gets a roach warren out very quickly. Now, what I need to do right now is I need to build a forge, build some cannons, and then I'm going to expand. If he didn't build this roach warren, I could keep making zealots, then expand, and then build a forge. I just like the fact that with 2 gates, I have the ability to put an outrageous amount of continuous pressure, and I'm more than willing to delay my expansion. So I whack away at him a little bit. But here is part of the game where I started to realize that I really need to start thinking about my placement a little bit more if I really want to be doing this opening on Kulas Ravine. I mean, I love the fact that there's these big wide open spaces so my zealots can really get in his face. He has to do some sort of defense here, can't do any ramp defense or anything like that. Even if he gets roaches, he runs the risk of getting surrounded at his front. 2-gating seems great. But look at this placement that I now have to deal with. Where the hell am I going to build cannons that's going to be a reasonable spot? I mean, this really is a pretty significant issue right now. So I like build one cannon here because I'm like, well, I guess I need to cover here, and then I build another cannon over here because, you know, I guess I need to cover that. Still trying to poke in there with my zealots a little bit. This is now about the time that it's, you know, I have to start running away because he's going to be bringing out his roach, so that's normal. So just sort of pulling back. Everything normal as can be. I build another cannon. Look at me. This is me saying I need to rework my placement like a ton, but of course I say a TNO because to hell with fixing typos, that's just pretty normal. I mean, this is such bad placement. I mean, what was I thinking? This is just really pretty awful. So I build a Nexus, and then I really do need to start building some more cannons right here, or else I'll just lose to a straight up roach attack. I mean, you could just like attack move and then not even pay attention. I mean, I'm pretty much going to have to do a different style of opening on this map, but still, I like how strong this opening feels. It's great on Lost Temple, great on Steps of War, great on Blistering Sands. It's just an unbelievably kick-ass way to play. But, you know, not when this sort of stuff can happen. I'm making 4 cannons before I'm even able to put guys in my gas geyser, because I really just wanted the money, and I was feeling a little bit up against the wall. So I kill a roach. So that's good. I'm up 1. Go me. Big pat on the back for myself there. But Moonglade's expanding to the gold mineral expansion. Now let's just laud his genius a little bit here. That's obviously the best possible move he could have done right now, right? He has to hold back. He really has to defend this. But then he sees me going into expand mode. So that means that I'm pretty much going to be playing defensively. I'm going to need to be doing things like building more cannons. Going to need to be teching a little bit later because I'm getting my expansion up. All that sort of good stuff. So he has complete and total control to just expand right away. And he actually did that to me in several of the games that we played. And I was surprised at how effective it was. I would have thought that I would have been more ahead. But even when I don't need to build like 4 cannons like I do on this map, this is still a great choice. Like if I'm playing on Steps of War and I can get away with 2 cannons, and Moonglade did this, it's still pretty good. But I still like this opening. I still like the position I'm in. And I literally was feeling so confident this whole game. I was just like, oh yeah, I got this, no problem. Look at me, I'm transferring. The timing on the transfer, oh my god, it felt so good. I remember at the time, I was like, I bet all these observers think I'm just the best, you know, ugh. And of course, while I'm gloating, Moonglade is proceeding to, you know, handily win the game. And as we can see, it's a pretty long game. So, you know, pretty typical. So there's a few things I'm being aware of on this particular situation that I'm in. So things I like to do are think about ways I could lose right now that I didn't. So just, again, you've heard me say this before. When I rewatch my replays, or should I say when an individual rewatches their replays, there's this tendency to look at the same thing you looked at in the game. Because where you were looking in the game is the place your brain said, this is the important part. So when you rewatch the replay, your brain is still going, that's the important part. But just as a test, watch one of your replays, and like if you're Protoss or Terran, Only watch your gateways or your barracks. Only watch those. You'll be blown away how often you slip up on your macro. If you're Zerg, watch your hatch and just stare at your larva count. You'll be blown away at how often that climbs up. So when I'm watching my replays, I try to do that. But in addition, I also try to point out to myself other ways that I could be about to lose this game. So here I'm like, okay, well, I'm at this natural expansion. I have this cliff here. This is a little unusual. This is not something that's on a lot of other maps, this cliff on the high ground, you know, with the minerals facing it. So I really should be taking out these destructible rocks pretty soon. And I can turtle a little harder and take out these destructible rocks and get my third up a little faster. And I'm nice and neatly tucked away. I think that's pretty good. I have my robotics facility up. My cybernetics core up. So I'm going to be getting the warp gate pretty soon. I'm also going to be